For things about the Gaza ceasefire starting Sunday. A ceasefire in Gaza has been agreed to by Israel and Hamas. However, Israel continues to attack Gaza even though it has agreed to a ceasefire with the Palestinian militant group, Hamas. Here's the information. 1. Ceasefire in Gaza, starting this week. A ceasefire occurred between the Palestinian militant group Hamas and Israel. The ceasefire in Gaza will start on Sunday, January 19, 2025. As coordinated by the parties involved in the agreement and the mediators, the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip will begin at 8:30 a.m. on Sunday, February 19, local time in Gaza, said Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Majid al-Ansari, in a statement on X. The first stage of this ceasefire began with the distribution of humanitarian aid throughout Gaza. In addition, 33 Israeli prisoners will also be freed. "We will never give up on the people of Gaza," he continued. He hopes that this ceasefire can be permanent, so the war can be ended. The ceasefire agreement was first announced on Wednesday, January 15, by U.S. and Qatari mediators. 2. Gaza residents welcome the ceasefire. Gaza residents welcomed the ceasefire with joy. The crowd embraced to celebrate this announcement. "I can't believe this nightmare that has been going on for more than a year is finally coming to an end. We have lost so many people, we have lost everything," said Palestinian Randa Sami. 3. Israeli government agrees to ceasefire in Gaza. The Office of Israeli Prime Minister, PM, Benjamin Netanyahu officially announced on Saturday, January 18, 2025, that the Israeli government cabinet had approved an agreement with Hamas for a ceasefire and the release of hostages in the Gaza Strip. This approval was given after Netanyahu's cabinet held a meeting for more than 6 hours on Saturday, January 18, morning. Netanyahu's office said in a statement that the Israeli government had ratified the agreement. The government has approved the framework for the return of the hostages. The framework for the release of the hostages will come into effect on Sunday, January 19, local time, Netanyahu's office said in a statement. Under the deal, the ceasefire will last for 6 weeks and in 3 stages. In the first stage, Hamas will free 33 Israeli hostages, including female hostages, including soldiers and civilians, child hostages, and male hostages aged 50 years and over. Meanwhile, Israel will release all Palestinian women and children prisoners, aged under 19, who have been held in Israeli prisons at the end of the first phase. The number of Palestinian prisoners released by Israel will depend on the number of hostages Hamas releases from the Gaza Strip. The estimated number is between 990 prisoners and 1,650 Palestinian detainees, including men, women, and children. 4. Israel is still attacking Gaza. Even though there has been a ceasefire agreement in Gaza, Israel is still continuing to attack Gaza. This makes the death toll in Gaza due to Israeli attacks continue to increase. Reported by Al Jazeera, Friday, January 17, 2025, the number of victims killed in these attacks has now reached around 90 people. This figure was conveyed by the Wafa news agency, citing medical sources in the besieged enclave. The death toll continues to rise as Palestinians return to shelter in their tents after celebrating the ceasefire agreement reached between Israel and Hamas on Wednesday, January 15, 2025, evening. For several hours, people turned this entire area into a celebration stage, something we are not used to seeing here because this area was once a burial stage for war victims and a place filled with suffering and sadness, said Hani Mahmoud of Al Jazeera, reporting from Deir el Balah in central Gaza.